Megan.
Sheila.
How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Trent just highlighted to us, Trent, our producer, in case folks don't know until now.
Thank you for reminding us about Trent.
It is our last chapter in volume 4 of Snohomish Storytellers.
Yes. Good job keeping to the storytelling theme. I always have a hard time doing that.
I know. But it is crazy that we've been doing this for 4 whole years now.
Right?
Yeah.
Heck.
Yeah.
Time flies
How
when
did we
having
get
fun.
here? Speaking of having fun.
Yeah.
Our guest today, fun gal.
She is fun.
She's such a fun gal.
Yes.
So we have today Ingrid. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Ingrid Harten. And what do you want to know about me?
Oh, everything. Well, let's see.
Tell us
You
your
don't have time
context
for
to
that,
Snohomish.
I am here primarily as, I should say, first as a resident, a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Second, as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and I own the Snohomish Bakery and First and Union Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
We've been in business for 20 years.
Wow.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah. And it's one of those weird things where it feels like yesterday and it feels like forever.
Yeah.
At the same
At
time.
the same time.
Yeah. It's like raising kids.
Right. That's what somebody had told me. I don't have children of my own, but I have fur babies.
Yeah.
But with the amount of teenagers that I get to interact with, I'm not feeling like I'm lacking in opportunities to mentor the youth.
Yeah.
And I guess thirdly, I'm here because of my long-standing relationship with the HDSA.
I like the way you put that.
My husband and I both have been active pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him before I came here, and I said, when did you join? When did we as a business join? And when did you as a person get involved? And he's like, I think the second year we were in business. So that would be 2007.
Wow. Long time ago.
Yeah. So a long time ago. And he was there for involved actively for 5 years. And then I had more time in my schedule. And so I took the baton from him in 2013.
So tell us how you either came to Snohomish, if you didn't originate here, and then how did you become the owners of this very famous spot that everybody knows about?
Everybody knows it.
Let's hear your bakery
We're
journey.
famous. So my husband and I are both originally from New Jersey.
Oh.
And we met in college at Rutgers University. And we were friends. So I've actually known him since I was 20 years old.
Aww.
So long time, over 30 years. And he moved out here, not initially to Snohomish, but to the West Coast. Actually, he was originally I guess he had been in Corvallis. He came back to New Jersey. Then I met him, and then he went back and got a job at an engineering firm in Seattle. And he lived in a variety of places, but eventually he ended up settling in Snohomish. And he was around the time he was considering putting down roots, buying a house and all that. It was also around the time that he and I started dating. They kind of, go hand in hand, obviously.
Yeah.
But I was in Boston at the time.
Oh.
And I was working on my PhD at Tufts University. And we did the long distance dating thing for a while, and that was so much fun for me. Oh my God. He, on the other hand, was not feeling like it was so much fun.
You are very independent. I can imagine that would be fun for you.
For 2 weeks, I could just buckle down and work really hard. And then I would have this 4 to 5 day romantic getaway, to come out here. And we would do things like go boating in the San Juans or go up to Vancouver or whatever. But he got tired of it. And so we were right on the brink of making the decision of, do we quit this or do we, and everything in my academic career in Tufts fell apart. All my advisors got better offers elsewhere and they left. And I was sharing advisors and they both left. And I was just okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
But I had options out here in Washington at the University of Washington. And so I called up the people that I knew here and I said, hey, I need a new place to land. And they said, sure, come on out. So
it was
my husband and I decided to stay together, obviously. And I moved out here. So that was
you have your PhD in?
It started out as cell molecular biology, and then when I got out here, I joined the pathology department, but it was still essentially cell and molecular biology. I have a rich and varied background in lots of different disease research things that have served me well, over time. And now I'm a medical writer in my day job. So I'm able to converse in lots of different subjects that are scientific or clinical or whatever.
So you were like, I have this PhD. I know all about molecular, all the things that I have no idea about, but I need some croissants in my life. So how did the bakery come in?
How did the bakery come in? So I'm a horrible person. And
I would not qualify.
My husband at the time had left engineering because he couldn't handle the corporate lifestyle anymore. It was just not good for his brain. He's wired a little different than the average corporate dude. And also it wasn't good for his body. Like he was gaining too much weight and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He opened his own contracting business. He was a finished carpenter. He was doing quite well for himself.
Wow.
But then we got married and I started worrying about our future. And I was like, what are you going to do? You've got nothing to sell. Like, what are we going to retire on? I was just being an absolute,
I mean, it's fair
not my finest moment as a wife. Let's just put it that way.
You're just looking out for the both of you.
I was looking out for the both of us and not doing it in a very kind way. And, and so...
None of us were there. You could have said whatever you wanted.
I know, but I'm really bad at making up stories that aren't true.
Another quality we like about you.
Yeah. So... I kind of was like, I backed off after. I was like, oh, maybe came on a little too strong there. But he started thinking about it. And we loved coming to downtown Snohomish. It was one of the reasons I was like, yeah, I can totally move out to Washington and do this. Like Snohomish is wonderful. It reminded me of the little historic towns, back east. And we were walking around town and we're like, this place needs a bakery that sells bread. Because, we had the pie shop and...
There was a spot in the market.
Yeah, there was room.
Yeah.
There was room. Yeah. And Snohomish had traditionally, for most of its history anyway, had a bakery.
Yeah, most small towns would, right?
So we just started talking about it. And he was like, yeah, it'd be nice to have a place where you could just go get a fresh baked loaf of bread. We were driving down to Seattle to go to the Essential Baking Company or McCreener's or something like that to get our bread because... We just, I can't do store-bought bread. Unless I'm
high
desperate.
standards.
Yeah. So one day we were down here and we realized that the original bakery building at 921st Street was up for rent. And it had been an antique shop immediately prior to that. And we sat out front and we counted foot traffic and car traffic and, we put together a business plan and realized, we could probably do this. We'd need a little help from our family, but we could probably do this. And so we got married in July of 2005 and we started the company in November.
Wow.
Did you guys have cooking, baking background?
Yes. By we, I mean Andy.
So, as a unit, you guys do.
As a unit, yeah. I actually was a halfway decent baker, home baker, not commercial baker. I knew nothing about that. And it's a good thing that I was that naive because we probably wouldn't have jumped if I'd been at all knowledgeable. But he grew up in a Greek family. And at least on the East Coast in New Jersey, if you're Greek, there's a very high probability that you're in food service of some kind. And his family was indeed. And they had restaurants, bars, food trucks, catering companies, sometimes all these things at once. And so he grew up in a commercial kitchen.
Gotcha.
And he was a very good cook, but understood commercial level food production.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's how they cooked at home. So
on that scale,
you don't cook for 4 people.
Yeah. You cook for 40.
You cook for 40. And everybody better like leftovers.
Yeah.
So, and when we were both still living in New Jersey, I'd go over his house and I'd walk into the kitchen and there'd just be sheet pans of like baked chicken and, you know, roasted potatoes and baklava. Oh, the baklava. And so, yeah. So I had every confidence that he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, sure, I can handle the numbers side of things. I can handle the business side of things, even though I'd never really run a business myself.
You had confidence you could figure it out.
I was like, how hard can it be? It's just accounting.
Can't be harder than cellular microbiology. Right?
So I don't, I was like, whatever, I'll figure it out. I can learn anything. So, turns out that's not true, but at the time I was very confident. And so, so we started the business and opened our doors January of 2006.
Wow.
We were lucky that we had a few years under our belt before the bottom dropped out of the economy.
Yeah. That's right. I guess that was only like a year and a half down the road, right?
Yeah. But luckily by then we had enough really dedicated customers that were like, no, we're not losing our bakery.
Yeah.
If I just have to spend, you know, buy a coffee and a cookie every day to make sure they don't go out of business. And our customers kept us alive.
Wow. That's awesome community spirit.
Yeah. And well, it's Snohomish. You know, we've got that.
Yes, we do.
What we do. We do it in spades.
Is that how you discovered that firsthand, or did you already kind of understand that element?
No,
of the
that was
community?
So one of the things that I liked about joining the business community here is I had been in my 20s when I was, you know, sort of trying to figure out who the heck I was. I was looking for a community and trying to figure out what kind of community would really suit me. And there was some vibe about Snohomish that I was like, ooh, maybe here.
Yeah.
I think this could work.
Yeah.
So the vibe definitely got me, but I didn't fully understand like how that functioned until I became part of the business community and got to meet the locals that really were dedicated to the shop local and
you found your people.
Yeah. And so made some fabulous friends that I still have to this day from our, you know, very first set of customers. And
I love that.
Yeah. So it's been a really, for the most part, extremely positive experience.
Yeah.
In the original business plan was this should be a destination. This town has what it takes to be a destination, and something like a bakery really drives that. Like how many people go to Sultan because of the bakery? How many people, you know, and Andy and I are that kind of people. Like wherever we go, we seek out a bakery. Like we were in Argentina and we were in their version of like wine country. So like Walla Walla or whatever.
Yeah.
And we asked the Airbnb host, you know, what's good in town. Like, and we didn't even prompt her that we were bakery owners. She was just like, oh, there's this great bakery you have to go to.
Yeah.
So we went and it was wonderful. And we got lucky because the owner walked in while we were there, and we could spot an owner any day. They walk in, they're not dressed for work, but they go behind the counter and they start working. Right?
Yeah.
And so we ended up getting her attention and had her come over, and we explained that we were bakery owners and we were praising her place. And it was a really fun experience.
Yeah, that's
awesome. You know, like halfway around the world, and
it's a community though.
We're
right?
doing, and the place is packed. It was wonderful.
So. That's lovely.
Yeah.
So then back to the business community that you guys found. Talk a little bit more about what that community is that you guys found when you started your business.
So we really were struck by the camaraderie amongst the different business owners, that there was this sense of we're all in this together and people come here for the whole experience and we need to do our best to, you know, support each other in that. And we'd heard stories about things in the past that business owners had done for each other, you know, with, you know, like shoplifter alert, or there was one person, I think there was even like a situation with a weapon or whatever, and you know, and everybody just came together and
looked out for each other,
took care of it. Looked out for each other. And so it was like, okay, this is cool. And so when we first moved in, the antiquing was still a bit stronger. Right now it's more of a boutique-y town. At that point when we started, it was more of an antique town still. And like several of the antique shop owners came over and were like, welcome to town. Here's a piece of furniture for your,
that's cool.
So we got a chair, a coffee table, a lamp. Like it was really just, and they were like, just welcome to the community.
Yeah, that's nice.
And we just felt really blessed by that. And of course they got free bread for life, but that there was probably some method to their madness.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was really a very wonderful community from go.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a couple years later, when the bottom fell out,
not everybody succeeded.
Not everybody
survived.
succeeded, but
Yeah.
we survived.
Yeah.
So that was sometimes tough to swallow, but
Yeah.
especially as they would come in and tell us their woes, and we're like,
Yeah.
sorry, man,
Yeah.
like if there's anything we can do,
Here's
let us
a free
know.
bread.
Yeah, here, have
Let us
a
feed you.
baguette,
Yeah.
It was another business owner that approached my husband to join this downtown group called, at the time, it was just called HDS. And he got involved. And
What was it like at that point?
it was really nascent. Yeah. So it was about 4 years into it being an actual organization. They had money, but they didn't really have the structure. So my husband was part of sort of the pioneering crew that like tried to figure out what Snohomish needed and what they could do as business owners to try to bring people to town.
Okay.
And that's when they hired their first executive director, who over time sort of really wanted to focus more on events. And so the organization really cut its teeth on putting together different events that would bring people in from all around the county and even and wider. We got money from the Snohomish County Tourism to broaden our reach and bring people in from, Bellingham and Vashon and
Do you remember what some of those first events were?
I think fairly early on, the wine walk
So that's been around
established.
even longer than I thought.
Yeah, it's been around for a while. I think it's probably 15 years now. We've had wine walks.
Because we definitely had like the Easter parade that's been around for a long time.
So the
from
Easter parade was
chamber.
always the chamber
Right.
thing. Yeah,
Just events in
so
general.
we tried
and then
to-
Klahia days.
Yeah,
so
we
were you
tried to
doing more
supplement, and so we took on Christmas because there wasn't really a cohesive. By we, I mean HDS.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was always sort of a standalone committee, and different members of the community would come and go. They weren't necessarily
Business
members
owners.
of HDS, but they were like, hey, I'll help your organization out, put this series of events together for the holidays and help decorate town. And there was a lot more sort of on our plate as far as the look and feel of downtown at the time. The city wasn't as involved as they are now. And, the flower baskets, we got involved in that pretty early on. And actually at one point we were taking care of the maintenance. And at one point, actually, the Snohomish Bakery was taken care of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had an employee that we paid
Very
to...
grassroots.
Yeah, very grassroots. Just was one of those we can do it for cheaper kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And, so things have morphed and changed over time. And our emphasis on events has sort of waxed and waned. And, but, we as a organization started out in Main Street and then left when Main Street reorganized and we no longer could see where we fit given the current structure that we had. That was around 2015.
So Andy joined first.
Shortly
after you guys opened.
Yeah.
So what, 2006?
2007.
Okay.
2007. And then I took over the baton from him. And so he was, on the board and doing a variety of different things. At one point he was president. At one point he was treasurer. The time that he was treasurer, that was when he kind of was like, here, you do it. And so I was doing the job for him for like a year. And then I officially joined in 2014. But in reality, I was doing the job.
You were supporting.
I was supporting him. Yeah. And he was the one going to the meetings and, all that. But I was doing the back end work.
But back then, HDS was more of a merchant association, right? It was the business owners, right?
Like.
Yeah.
Except that you said you had a Main Street background at some point too.
Yeah. We started out as actually a Main Street program. But the reason it happened was because of concerns that the merchants had about their downtown, the look and feel of the downtown. And
Do you
so,
think it felt like a merchant association more than a Main Street program?
yes,
Okay.
yes, for sure.
They had the most at stake, right? For the physical downtown look, feel, vibe.
Absolutely.
You know, because they're the ones that are trying to get people to buy their stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, Snohomish has had booms and busts, you know, throughout its history, but at the time it was kind of sleepy. You know, there was
Needed the actual revitalization part of the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we, as an organization, made the decision to figure out ways to bring people in and then see what would happen.
Yeah.
So a lot of the early days of the organization were just that. It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made sense
did.
for the
worked.
time,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. But over the course of that, we also were trying to do more with varying levels of success and varying levels of community and city support. And it wasn't, I think, really until we took on the application for Main Street community status that we really started to galvanize and focus and get a sense. We didn't even know really who we were, you know, prior to that process.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even have like a way of describing what we do.
It was
To people that are like, what are you doing? You know? Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you
Pimply
haven't really
faced,
hit.
awkward. Our voices cracked. And when I joined, I started noticing some things right away that were hampering us. One of the things was the name. Just the very name, HDS, like Historic Downtown Snohomish. People thought we were a department of the
place.
city.
Yeah.
Because the Historic Downtown Snohomish is a place.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful place. But we were not a place. We were an organization of people. And so I really, one of my first sort of campaigns, if you will, as a board member was to add
the A.
add the word association so that people would understand that we were an independent nonprofit association dedicated to downtown. And that took a lot.
I bet.
That is
Actually, it was
hilarious.
amazing how, you know, people don't like change, right?
Well,
change is scary.
No.
you know?
What I think
Not
is
here.
funny, though, is when I first started getting more involved with the organization and when I started becoming a board member, probably, and we would sit in meetings and you would always say HDS, HDS, HDS.
Oh, I know.
And then
I
for the
couldn't even-
longest time, I was like, is my hearing just falling off on the A? You know? Or is Ingrid?
Force a habit.
And you were the one who advocated for
And
the
I'm
A.
the one who advocated for it. Yeah. No, it
That's
was
hilarious.
just, you know,
Yep, habit.
Yep. I'm trying.
But you
So-
got
I
that
still
A
say
on,
HDS,
yeah.
honestly.
you
Yeah,
do.
I hear a lot of people who still say that.
Yeah.
Especially our, you know, a lot of our long-standing business owners.
Anybody
they
who's
always
sort
call
of a
us
legacy
HDS.
business owner,
Yeah.
they're going to
Yeah.
say HDS.
Yeah.
you know.
That's okay.
HDSA
I know who they're
is-
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But that was really important to get through people's heads that we're not the city.
Yeah.
We don't have that level of power and jurisdiction, right? We are a conduit. We are a place to start the conversation.
Yeah.
We are connectors, but we cannot make decisions about how the city spends money. We can't make decisions about legislation. You know, those are things we can advocate for. But we have to do that carefully because we represent everybody
Yeah.
and not just the merchants. It's the other thing to try to understand.
Yeah.
That's, I think, the
that
biggest.
we were here for
everyone.
Yeah.
the building owners,
Yeah.
the property investors, and the residents,
Yeah.
as well as the people that come to town to have a good time.
Yeah.
We represent everybody. Now, again, like you said, the merchants kind of have the biggest amount
big
of skin in the
stakeholders.
game.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time when there was a whole... So we have this source of funding that comes from the city that used to be collected along with the fee for the business license. And the city had misrepresented it as their HDS dues.
Yeah.
And we're like, no, it's not. Read your own legislation. Read your own ordinance. It is a fee that you collect. And so we had certain members of the business community that were like hung up on however much you pay should be correlate with how much say you have.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a board member, you should also have to pay.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't just be the business owners. And we're like, yeah, no.
Really not like
I went on, that was my second campaign. I was going on a whole like educational mission to have the community understand what this fee was, what it represented, how much control we did not have over it.
Yeah.
And how much money it actually was.
Yeah.
How much we really, it's,
how much you can actually do
it's
with a
buying
sum
power
like that.
diminished rapidly every year. And so, gosh, that must have been a 5-year campaign in and of itself just to get people to understand.
We still have to have very clear language and many conversations around that. It's
continuous education. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then there's some people that hear it and they don't, it doesn't sink in.
Right.
And so they default back to their original
understanding of it.
And so
it's amazing how hard that can be.
Yeah.
Like some of these like institutionalized ideas that people are just like, no, this is what it is. It's like, well, it's not. But if that's your
here's the
understanding of
documentation
it,
to show that it's not.
Yeah,
What
it
else
can be
would
hard
you
to
like me to
change
say?
the
Some
narrative.
people say it takes 7 times 7 ways to get a new idea implemented in someone's brain.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
So,
I think I stopped at 5.
There you go.
That was my problem.
Should have tried 2
I
more
should've tried 2 more
times.
times. Yeah.
We'll pick it up for you. Were you the president of the HDSA during COVID?
I was.
Ooh.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So trying to remember when.
Did you block it out?
It's just
No.
PTSD at this point.
No, actually, that's not it at all. So I was the treasurer forever, right?
Yeah.
So I started out taking over my
Your
husband's
Andy's alias treasurer.
treasury
The actual
job, and then
treasurer.
I stayed treasurer for way longer than our bylaws would allow. But nobody seemed to care because I was doing a good job and we weren't going broke yet.
Yeah.
There you go.
But at one point we took a good look at our bylaws because every once in a while you need to do that and make adjustments. And they were like, oh, girl.
You're done.
So I got elected president.
So they gave you a promotion.
They gave me they tried me in secretary and I was terrible. So I think they were like, just stick to the books because I was doing them anyway.
So you were basically assuming more responsibility and retaining some of your treasurer responsibility, and now the title is the president?
Yes.
Okay.
So there was that. And then, of course, I'm trying to remember when, through all this, so we had an executive director, then she ended up stepping back and becoming just the director of promotion and events. And so then we didn't have an executive director. So the person who was in the position of president sort of assumed the duties, sort of the more administrative duties of the executive director position. So Ed Poquet was, I think, the president immediately prior to me taking it on, I think.
I still
My
get Mel in
memory's
his
a
name.
little hazy on that one. But he did a bang up job and he was so on it. Oh, he was great. But then I took over and I made a hash of it. But then COVID hit and I'm not alone in this one, but I got a little intense. I got a little intense. And when I get intense, and luckily
Gretchen
at that point,
comes
I'd recruited a few folks to the board who were very on board with my level of intensity and just sheer, like, we are not going to let this fail because all of a sudden we didn't have a volunteer base anymore.
Yeah.
Half of our board members were gone. Our events were severely curtailed. And so we're like, okay, fine. We're just going to get super creative. We can do this.
Yeah.
This community will not, it needs us. We need them.
Yeah.
You know, like together we're going to make this work. And at that point in time, we had already successfully hired we hired one executive director that didn't work out.
You hired Terry in 2019.
Yeah. So we'd hired Jim in 2018. But he
And
ended
it was
up,
at the end. You hired Terry in November of 2019.
right. So we had Jim from like, I don't know, less than a year, I think. But he ended up taking a job that was a far better fit and commute. Because he was living in
nice.
Seattle.
Oh,
And
geez.
it was a
gosh.
crazy, he was great, but it wasn't
Not the right fit.
not the right fit. So then we ended up hiring Terry at the end of 2019. And just even getting the board to agree that we needed an executive director was crazy because I was doing so much. They were like, no, we don't need one. Everything's happening. And I'm like, I am tired. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I have a full-time job and I own a business.
Mm-hmm.
This is too much for me.
Yeah.
And it was about to become so much more.
And they were just like, well. And I was like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that they weren't doing their jobs. It was just that I was doing
A lot.
It became
lot.
invisible, right? When problems don't come up and you're just
I was handling
doing it. Yeah.
I was
You're doing
handling
it. Yeah.
So not necessarily most effectively, but we were
Well enough.
We were still alive.
Yeah.
Right. And things were still happening. And, you know,
Mhm.
we'd hired Terry, who was our second, well, I guess technically third executive director.
Mhm.
And then, you know, everything shut down.
Mhm.
And she was really
Terry.
passionate about small business
Mhm.
because she grew up in a small business owner family.
Mhm.
And so she was like, okay, what do we need to do? What? So we had a bunch of very passionate, small but passionate board.
Mhm.
And we met every week on Thursdays.
Mhm.
We no longer had committees.
Mhm.
We just talked about all the things every
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
And we just made the changes that needed to be made.
Mhm.
At that time, things we'd been struggling with, you know, we had just barely gotten a website that was functional. We'd done a rebuild of the website like 2 years prior.
Mhm.
And I finally was like, okay, I got to choose like the platform. And because I was like, I'm going to be the one doing
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to be completely
Needs to work
comfortable with
for you.
this. And
Mhm.
so even though I had tried to have a committee around it, and it just ended to be me and Debbie Carlson Gould put together this
Mhm.
website. And she did all the graphics and I created the structure for her. And then it wasn't ideal at that point.
It got
at
the
all.
job done.
It got the job done. And then I think we had a professional come in and kind of zhuzh it up a bit.
Mhm.
But then with COVID, it was like, we have a website.
Mhm.
We need to utilize this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then I became just enough knowledgeable to be dangerous with the Wix platform.
Web developer.
A
Add it
web
to your
developer.
resume.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, okay, what can we do? Like ticket sales go online. We have virtual events. We have, you know, all this stuff. I was trying to find, you know, ways to make it all work.
Yeah.
And we did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We
It's
somehow,
actually incredible.
we made it work.
While
I worked
supporting the downtown business community.
It was so much work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it was like, we have to do this because otherwise we're going to die.
Mhm.
What was the relationship with the downtown businesses like for HDSA at that time?
Very, very strained
Mhm.
because everybody was stressed out.
Yeah.
Everybody was afraid of losing their shirts.
Mhm.
I was fortunate to have an enormous amount of outdoor seating.
Mm.
So I was not afraid of losing my shirt. I also had a very large employee base. So my government
I like the PPP
support,
stuff.
like the PPP and all that.
Mhm.
Is that what it's called?
Yep. Paycheck protection program.
Right. So I was in a position where I was like, okay, I am not one of these people. I need to support them.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm going to be okay.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to stress out on my behalf.
Yeah.
So I decided to stress out on their
Everybody
behalf.
Over everyone else's. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. And also I didn't want to lose the HDSA.
Yeah.
Of course.
We'd worked too hard and come too far.
Mm-hmm.
And we really made progress. Like I was feeling in 2019, like we finally had gotten our feet under us. We were
Yeah.
going in the right direction. We'd hired Terry. We were talking about Main Street
Yeah.
community status and getting,
We had
you know,
goals and
we
momentum.
had goals.
and-
We'd had a couple of like professional level goal setting sessions with a guy who'd been on the board before, a guy named Eric Van Ice. And he had sort of walked us through. I mean, we did this took multiple times to
Yeah.
do this before we were like getting on board with his
Yeah.
process. But we were getting there. Like I was finally,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and then boom,
Yeah.
the rug got pulled out from under us. But we did it. We did
Yeah.
it. It was a lot of work, but it showed us who we really were,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that even when we're stressed out and strained and not necessarily getting along all the time, that we can still come together and do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody likes everybody's version of coping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's actually such an interesting thing to think about, where you have this, you know, small hodgepodge of people that have come together for this common goal, and you are starting to get momentum and things are starting to become known, and like you have direction. And then this huge thing happens that's like
So out of your control.
hopefully once in a lifetime. But up to that point had been once in a lifetime. And it's not like, it affects everything. It doesn't just affect the work that you're doing together. It's affecting everybody's lives in these monumental ways. And you're still trying to come together and do this thing. Like, what a strange thing to experience with other people around this sort of work that's also volunteer working.
Yeah.
Like, no one's getting paid for this aside from your executive director.
She was the only one. Yeah. And we weren't paying her that much.
It's actually incredible.
Yeah.
Like, when I just think you should be so proud of leading something like that, because the odds were so far against you.
But I think it also goes to show all of the steps in preparation. Like, you didn't know that COVID was coming.
No.
But having the website in, having the executive director, you were already making such good decisions that set you guys up for success and be able to handle the tough time that came of COVID.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it leadership.
It's something along those lines, I think.
It was me doing and me begging other people to help.
Yeah.
I just was hell-bent on not just bootstrapping it until
well, we're so
got
grateful that you did, and I really think you should just be proud of yourself. And for some reason, you chose to stick around after that. COVID
because my work wasn't done. That was the worst part, because I was like, well, dang it. Like,
so you're like, this is a minor setback.
Right.
But
we were only 25% of the way there. I still have work to do. I still have a vision. I still, like, we once we decided we were going to become a Main Street community, because boy, I sure did want that B&O tax credit back. That was part of it, because that's such a nice source of funding. And we here in Washington State are so blessed to have that as one of our sources of funding, because I don't think any other state with Main Street programs has that particular program in place. Now, I'm sure they have other sources, but so I was like, nope, I'm gonna stick into it until I can see this organization so my big vision was to make sure that it didn't just function because of somebody like the 5 or 6 of us who were on the board during COVID, that it would have a structure that would outlive the individuals that filled the individual roles within that structure, that it needed to be an independent thing that people could plug into and step back from. Right. And that it wouldn't cave just because the cult of personality was gone. Right. Like,
that's so important.
And I will admit there might have been a little bit of that going on with me.
But maybe it
in
just
that
had
role
to be
where
at that
it was
point,
just it was mine.
Who else was going to do that?
I didn't want that. I didn't want that for the organization. I didn't want that for me. My husband was like, do I have a wife? I mean, I would do a lot of the work at home.
But it was kind of the crutch that the organization needed to get to a point where they're able to stand on their own, right?
Yeah, and I would hope that if it wasn't for me, somebody else would have stepped up, and probably in this community there would have been. I'm absolutely certain of it. But being a member,
you were already there.
I stepped up. I was there. I was doing it anyway. Might as well just see it through. And and it was the minute we made Main Street Community, I was like, okay,
I'm retiring from this.
taking a break. I've been on the board for
that did feel really good.
10 years.
To be able to share that specifically with you.
It was really...
I don't think I shared it with anybody until that night, to be able to kind of surprise, I have an announcement for you. But I remember thinking so specifically about you, because you brought me into this organization and educated me so well. Like, I knew about Main Street. I knew enough-ish about Snohomish, but I was very dependent on you at the beginning for everything. I feel like I called you multiple times a day. What's this? Tell me more about that, But I quickly learned...
Yes, you did.
How dedicated. Well, thank you. But
you did indeed. I was like, oh, thank God we heard the right person.
What I was going to say was I quickly learned how dedicated you were and how much you had actually put into this without witnessing it myself, because I wasn't there for that part. But I could just feel how much you cared about it. So to be able to deliver that news to you was like such an honor.
You did it.
I was like, oh, thank God. Because we did that application 3 times.
Yeah.
It took us 3 tries to get.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's true.
Yeah.
And we learned so much. I'm so glad we did the first one.
Yeah.
Because we learned from because they did this very exhaustive follow-up,
Yeah.
which was wonderful. And we learned, okay, these are all the deficiencies or areas of improvement that we need to focus on.
And when was that first attempt?
21, right?
2021.
Because I did the second one and I needed that too. Like same experience. I was like, I don't know what this is. Like I get it. I get Main Street, but I don't know what this is for Washington State Main Street. And for HDSA, I was only, I mean, we had to apply in July. I was hired in May.
Yeah.
So
it was like hit the ground
First
running.
2 months,
Yes.
it's like, there you go.
But there's no
Drink
way
from
to
the fire hose, girlfriend.
there's no way to learn it without doing it.
Yeah.
And so the application itself is actually so educational. So while it was like, okay, bummer, I was still like, well, yeah, of course, because I learned everything through it that I was like, I see how far they've come and where we need to go.
Had improved over the course of those 2 years. Like
Their
they,
process
as
too,
their process, their organization, like that was the interesting thing. As we were trying to get back to Main Street, Main Street itself
was evolving.
and improving and creating positions for better support.
Yeah.
And, you know, when we had originally left Main Street, they had 1 person
Oh, wow.
and she was overwhelmed.
Of course.
So we were like, well, you got nothing for us. We don't fit your mold. Let's just
do your own thing for a while.
We'll do our own thing for a while, and we know we can do this. And so when we came back in, we started to see positive change on their side, and we got Janelle, who was a freaking godsend. She was working with all the affiliates and a font of information.
Oh my gosh, I spent so much time on. I called her my Main Street therapist.
And she was also just a glorious human being.
Yeah.
You know? And you could get a sense from them and their team that they also were very dedicated to this process, to this what do you want to call it? The
program,
structure, you know, the program, what Main Street is. And the thing is, it works.
Yeah.
Right? There's data to show it. And that was the other thing about the COVID experience. On the other end of it, they gave this little presentation, which I was so excited to then share with City Council, that towns that had functioning Main Street programs did something like
74% or something like that.
Some crazy amount better
Wow.
than their counterpart cities that did not have Main Street organizations. And so I was like, this model works.
Yeah.
Can we print that on a big poster and just slap it on the
We've got
window,
a PowerPoint
right?
somewhere.
Like,
I'm sure we can. And they gave us the slides with the statistics and everything and the graphics. And so it was like, okay, so we know, we already knew that it was a good thing, but now we know it's actually a great thing.
Yeah.
Because the communities that are connected, the communities that are integrated survive the catastrophic change.
Yep.
And it's interesting. I was watching YouTube last night, and the same exact thing can be applied to climate change disasters.
Communities that are more
that are more connected and more integrated are more resilient.
There really is power in numbers, right?
Well, and it's not so much numbers as it is connections.
Yeah.
The number of connections.
Yeah.
Like, because you can have a big old city
who
where
don't
nobody
care about
talks to each other and it crumbles, right?
For sure.
Whereas little towns that have really strong relationships, you know, within the community, figure out ways of surviving extreme adversity. And just the little decals that went up on everybody's window during
I love that
like
a lot
the
of those
worst
are still
part.
there. Yeah.
And then we did another one of those videos of why we're the top 10 little towns in the entire freaking country. You know, we were trying to get the money from Steel, the weed whacker company.
Oh,
you know,
the tool company.
We didn't win it, but it didn't matter. We made a really cool video. And that was the other thing. We made connections within the community as far as like, I think we got some drone footage from a videographer. We got, just hey, what do we need to do to get just bank or cash in on all those
and now
great
you're
connections.
sitting on HDSA's podcast.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, what the
Isn't
heck?
that
Did you ever
crazy?
think that was going to happen?
No, actually, not really. When you're like, do you want to be on the podcast? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, okay.
So you guys have been on this journey now for 20 years with the Historic Downtown Snohomish Association.
Association.
Can't forget the A.
Yeah.
From, when you guys started joining a very new organization, Andy's role in it, you joining, the ups and downs, the economy crashing in the 2009s, COVID in 2020, and now in today, 2026. When you're looking back, and because you have such a strong vision, right, of what you wanted HDSA to be, what's the scorecard?
We're still working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so so you want to know why I'm still involved at community level.
Because it's not done yet.
Because I'm not done yet.
Yeah.
I thought I was done. Not done yet. So one of the biggest sources of opportunity, unrealized opportunity that we've had. Ooh, do you like that? Real
I like
positive.
that. Yeah.
I'm working on those kind of phrases. What I really am saying to myself inside is the places where we continually dropped the ball for 20 years is in having better relationships with the people that own property and invest in Snohomish. And actually the word investor, this is a new one for my vocabulary, really applies to a lot of people, right? It applies to the customers, it applies to the employees, it applies to the business owners themselves. So we really have a community of investors and we're all invested in this community.
Yeah.
But really when we're talking about property owners and investors, we're talking about the people that may or may not have a business here, but they definitely have the real estate.
Yeah.
And one of the things to really be able to maximize your opportunities for improving vitality and historic preservation, which is actually a big deal with the Main Street program, is, taking the best care of the property as possible. And again, forming those relationships. And we as an organization had never quite figured out how to do that. There was never any traction.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was just maybe not the right mix of people with the right knowledge base and skill set.
Or you can only prioritize so many things.
Well, and that was the other thing. We were too busy trying not to die.
Yeah.
So
you're like, I need to fix this arm that's falling off. And then I can fix the scab on the other
stem
side.
the flow of blood first. And then we'll worry about, getting pretty shoes. And everybody's there's lots of things going on in the organization. And so I don't even know what all is being built. But I do know that
you
in
don't have to be on the board anymore.
Yeah, I was like, because you don't have to.
I don't have
you don't
to.
need to.
God, I don't know every little thing that's happening in this organization. So in this committee, that is kind of, it's nascent, which, is a great opportunity. And we're tackling that problem of how do we get meaningful relationships with people that don't necessarily come downtown every day.
Yeah.
They have a giant stake in the downtown, but they're not here. They're not somebody you can go in. Like I can go see Jackie and Eric downtown or downstairs and have a glass of wine. Like the person that owns this building, who is that?
Yeah.
So we now have a roster.
Yeah.
We know, and we have phone numbers, and we never had that. Again, the application forced us.
Yeah.
And
was
so
one of our
because we
biggest
now
growth
had that
areas.
resource, now we had more ability. So the committee kind of organically came out of like, we have more resources now. We have more information now. We can now go do stuff.
Yeah.
And so now we're trying to do stuff. And
I didn't even think about this, Ingrid, until you just brought it up. But I love that, like, the one area of something that you're like, oh, I still haven't touched this. I'll serve on that committee. By the time you're done, you will have like
everything.
full
I will have touched
circle.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's partly what you said, though, of your vision. Like you want,
it's part of my vision.
You know what needs to happen to bring all of this together, and you want to be part of it. Like that's extreme dedication.
Yeah.
we have so much potential.
Yeah.
As an organization, and with this town, like the town is just perfect for, I don't know, maybe the town is perfect because of us. Sure.
I mean, 20 years.
Yeah.
Long time. You can claim that.
No, I mean, the vibe was here. The bones were here. The people were here. The community was here. right? It's been here.
Yeah.
And
But we kept it strong, right? We didn't let it go.
exactly.
And that's also effort.
Yeah. And don't let it go.
Yeah.
But I don't think people will let it go, no matter what,
Yeah.
through all kinds of crud.
As long as we continue to have people like you. Yeah, we won't.
And you.
All of us.
It takes a village.
Yeah, it takes a village. It takes a town.
Yeah.
It takes a community. And we have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why my business is still here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Right.
the
I
support
mean,
is here for it.
The support is
Yeah.
here for it. And, we do our best to give back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is almost perfect, maybe perfect place. So, Ingrid, tell us, what is your perfect day in Snohomish? Your perfect day in the
my
perfect place.
day in Snohomish. Dang, that's a tough one.
This is always the hardest question.
Yeah.
of
So
the entire interview.
I'm not going to go with the perfect day because I don't know what that looks like. I honestly don't. But I'll talk about some memorable days.
Oh,
Okay.
sure.
I like to shop.
Mhm.
Yeah, you do. I've run into you in boutiques many times.
That is true. So
I like to shop. And so, not excessively so, but the thing about Snohomish is that it's not like some corporate store type place, right? Everything is mom and pop. Everything is unique. Everything is in order to be able to survive here, you have to be interesting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're
Curated.
interesting, curated. Yeah. And so I really enjoy the days that, I can go around with a girlfriend or whoever. Let's be honest, it's a girlfriend. And it's usually Pam.
I was going to say, Pam, are we talking about Pam?
We can call her out.
Hi, Pam. And, so it's like we go around to the different shops. We say hi to the shop owners because, well,
Everyone
them.
knows
we
each other.
know
yeah.
them,
Yeah.
which is lovely. And then, okay, we'll go have a nibble. We'll go have a glass of wine.
Twist my
We'll go
arm.
for a walk along the river. Like, experience the things that are here.
Yeah.
Also the events. Like, I love the solstice walk.
Mhm.
This is the event that my business sponsors, right? There's something about that quiet community, that solemnness, that
Yeah.
it's the time of year where things are usually kind of tough. The weather is usually crap.
Yeah.
And we still figure out a way to make it happen. It's a rare occasion that we have to cancel it.
Yeah.
We've moved
Historic
it.
floods.
Yeah.
Historic floods,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. We've moved it. But, there's years where the llamas show up. And
If you know, you know.
yeah. And then like the lighted car parade.
Mm-hmm.
Freaking love that.
Yeah.
One of those truly organic events that everybody's always like, somebody needs to claim this. We're like, no,
Yeah.
no, they don't.
Yeah. Let it be what it is.
Let it be what it is. So, and I love the wine walks.
Yeah. The
There's a
wine
lot
walk
of
loves
just-
you.
I do love the wine walks. I used to love working them and then going and participating. in them
Yeah.
and
We have
then-
a few people that do that.
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You just love it here.
Yeah.
I do.
And you pour your heart into it.
Yeah.
I do.
And it shows. And I'm glad you're
Sweat,
able.
tears, all the things.
Sweat, tears, anger,
Some
rage,
blood sometimes. Yeah.
rage. There was some rage.
I've never experienced your rage. So
That's a good thing.
You've
That's
done
a
well
good thing.
reining
I'm
that
trying
in.
to keep that
Yeah.
reined in. But yeah, it's been good. I can't complain.
Well, it feels so good to wrap up this,
Mm-hmm.
what do we call it? Volume.
Volume.
I'm
With
calling it volume.
yes. Well, Sheila's much better about sticking with the
Only when I
phrases that
remember.
I actually was the one to build in. Kind of like you dropping the A when you insist on having the A.
You fight for
We are
something
the
and then
same.
you go against
Yeah.
your own. Yeah, exactly.
But this volume at the end here, this last half, I've been like, okay, I just really want to focus on where HDSA came from, why it's important to talk about those stories. And you are such a monumental part of the HDSA story.
Yeah.
And I don't think that many of the things, I know that you say somebody else would have stepped in,
Mm-hmm.
but you were the one who did it.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
thank you, Ingrid.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And thank you for
keeping it going.
continuing. Yeah, I mean, I love that you're still involved. And someday, if I'm still around and Ingrid's like, it is finished.
Yeah.
I'm done.
We can finally hang
We'll
the
have a
cape up.
party and be like, that we have arrived.
Yeah.
then.
I don't know. I can't envision that day.
Yeah.
As long as I'm doing business in town.
She's just going to keep coming up
Yeah.
with new platforms to
There
go
is
on,
always
As long as I'm
Something
doing
to
business
do.
in town, I want
Yeah.
to know who, invests here, works here,
Mhm.
plays here. I want to know. I mean, I'm not the most politic of persons. I don't know everybody, but I do like to take the opportunities that are presented,
Yeah.
when they come up. There's definitely people that know more people than I do in town, for sure. But I do want to be involved.
Yeah. Well,
just
I
do.
appreciate that you're
Yeah.
still involved and everything that you have done. And I mean, the personal journey that you brought me along, that was, a whole thing that we could talk about.
and
I'm
everything you
just-
will do in the future.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful for you. Thank you
Yeah.
for coming on to chat with us tonight.
Well, thank you
and
for inviting
share
me.
all of these lovely things.
It's been an honor.
Yeah, and we look forward to continuing to work alongside you. Thank you.
Yeah, I got plans.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Bring them.
All right, doing it.
Thanks, Ingrid.
Snohomish Storytellers, brought to you by the Historic Downtown Snohomish Association, produced by Red Trucks.